Appearance on Dion's Daily Dose does not imply endorsement from or by any candidate or guest. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by Dion Bergeron or Dion's Daily Dose are his own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of any guest. Material and information presented is for general information purposes only. The Dion's Daily Dose name in all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owners, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service. If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Dion's Daily Dose. Today, I'm here with my beautiful wife, Liz, and we're going to talk about the election board meeting that they just held not that long ago. As a matter of fact, it hit YouTube pretty quickly compared to the usual amount of time. It usually takes a day or two for it to hit YouTube. But without further ado, here she is. Welcome.
5 hours, a little over 5 hours.
Yeah, it only took 5, and it would have been sooner, but they made a slight mistake when they put it up and put it on private. Mm-hmm. I pointed that out, and thankfully they were able to get it fixed.
Well, it's pretty unusual that they announced, and maybe they did it because they were going to interrupt their regularly scheduled broadcasting. But usually they don't announce, "Hey, we're going to be recording and airing this meeting." They just do it. So.
Yeah, usually there's not much of an announcement, and they had it to where you could watch it live. If you did not see it, it was an interesting meeting. It was short, but it was interesting. Yeah. You attended live, so
I did. It was quick. There was no old business, so I came in maybe 5 minutes late, and they were already. I came in not halfway. I don't know. DiMartino was being rude to Brody, or at least that's how it was coming across.
I'll say he came off as very aggressive. He did. We're going to show you. I have it pulled up. If you want to watch the video yourself, you're more than welcome to. It's on Alco TV on their YouTube, Access LaPorte County, and it is the meeting from today. But it's about 5 minutes. We're going to go ahead and pop it on screen. Here we go. And you'll get a chance to see what we saw. And then we'll jump in afterwards. Here we go.
Hearing none, public comment is closed. Moving on to new business. Number one, questions regarding the 2023 annual campaign finance report received from the committee to elect Mike Rosenbaum. I'll just set the record. We received a request to continue this inquisition until the next meeting of the board. Mr.
Inquisition.
Nobody respects the Spanish Inquisition.
I understand that Mr. Miyake reached out to you yesterday. He's a lawyer from Lake County. He had a conflict. He's in Lake County right now. He called me up last night and asked me if I would appear. It's my understanding that Mr. Rosenbaum told you all that he was unavailable to attend this meeting and that nothing's been done. So I'm here to address you asking for a continuance regarding this matter.
Sure. The problem is we can't talk about anything outside, of course.
Well, except the president in and of himself can go ahead and move something off the agenda without having to have something in open court, in open meeting, but that's
after the election.
I'm here and we're asking for a continuance.
After the election.
It was a very, except the president could unilaterally pull it off the agenda and make it to where I can do whatever I want.
But this was oh my God, the election's 6 days away. Wait.
Right. Which, moving on.
Okay. Well, I can't exactly, the purpose of today was to ask him about his reports and specifically the unitemized expenses and the unusual characteristics of them.
I know nothing about that.
Well, I'm just letting you know, because I know that there's also kind of a complaint as to, well, why don't we just send the questions to the candidates and have them pre-prepare for the meeting? I can't exactly ask you questions about his finance reports. And so
I'm going to pause it real quick here, just so you guys are aware. This is something that we've had an issue with in the past. The audio is that's not my audio issues. We actually pay a lot of money for this company, Access LaPorte County, to upload these videos to YouTube. They're responsible for all the audio equipment, all this stuff. And the audio is absolutely terrible.
Right. They do cover a lot, though.
They do, but I'm just saying the audio quality is absolutely atrocious. You're going to hear pops and crackles and all kinds of stuff. It's not me. moving on.
If I need him here.
I get that. And he'll be here.
Yeah.
Get a reset.
After
And
the election.
That's fine.
Yeah, after the election.
So,
I think I'd like to make a motion to schedule this for a hearing at this point. Because we cannot, I'm not sure what the questions are. And that's why this meeting was called, so that we can have a discussion amongst ourselves, because we can't do that outside of these meetings.
By what rule or regulation at this point in time, without a meeting, are you able to set this for a hearing? If you have some specific
He's on a cover for Mike
allegations,
Kid.
then go ahead,
These-
provide notice of the hearing and serve
He
it
gets
to
a
me.
lot more
And
sense.
all correspondence and all conversations will come through me because he's represented by counsel, Ms. Stevens, and that's fine. Do what you need to do.
Right now, I would just like to get information about what the questions are. So with all due respect, everybody's being incredibly defensive.
And I agree with her. He is exceedingly defensive
He is.
from the get-go. And isn't this the guy that works for the
He's the county council attorney.
yeah, he's the attorney for our LaPorte County
I've
Council.
never, maybe not never, but I don't think I've seen him on the attack like this, if ever, in a
this
long
is,
time.
like unusual.
Right.
for
This
him.
is very Gurr. And
Right.
I don't think I've seen that from him ever or for a very long time.
Right, at least for a while. Anyway, just so everyone is aware, because I personally was interested, since he's the county attorney and since there are multiple lawsuits right now involving county officials, I was curious as to who was footing the bill for him to appear for Mike Rosenbaum. So I called his office and I asked him, and he actually answered the phone. I asked him directly, are the taxpayers on the hook for you to appear for him? And he said, no, the taxpayers are not paying the bill. So at least
I
there's
think
that.
it was a professional favor because he talks about appearing for Mike's
Yeah, he's talking about
attorney.
appearing for another
So,
attorney. But I just
They
wanted
do
to,
think, yeah.
I just wanted to be sure, because
Good.
there's a lot of that going on right now.
Well,
When I'm not even sure why we're here.
nor am I.
But that's what I'm here to find out, because we can't talk about it outside of here without breaking open door law.
But for the fact that listen, I don't have a dog in this fight.
Here's it gets weird.
It gets
I
really
don't vote in LaPorte County. I don't. I from day one since I've done work, I just fly straight and narrow.
Yes.
What does it have to do with anything?
Things seem to me to be a little bit.
And what does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean? What seems to be hinky? What is the issue with
I
calling out some serious issues as far as I'm concerned on the campaign finance? He'll get to it. Let's let him get to it.
That's all I'm saying. If you want to set this, you all do whatever you need to do. I'm just here to set a record, and we'll move forward. However, the board wants to
Yeah,
move forward.
They will. They don't need your permission.
okay.
So it's your call.
I know.
I know.
Yeah, he says, I know.
Well, let me tell you all what are my questions.
Here we go.
We'll
There-
get them on the record. You can.
That's fine. That doesn't scare me, Mr.
Right.
You know, I don't know why you're being defensive.
Right.
This is to ask questions.
Here's where I came
I
in.
went through all seven. No, let me finish, please. I went through all 71 campaign finance reports. I'm not picking on Mr. Rosenbaum. I'm not picking on Mr. Smith.
Yep.
They just happen to catch my eye. Okay. You
Listen
wanna
to
talk
this
about
part.
dog in a fight? I don't care. I am not. Okay, whatever.
See, there I am.
You think what you want.
But they're not. No.
I am not done, Mr. DiMartino. Thank you. There were 71 total reports. Out of those 71 reports, there were 10 candidates who had over $100 in unitemized contribution.
Don't point your pen at me.
I'm done listening to you at this point.
Are you
Right?
done listening to me?
Yes, I am. So out of those 10, as a percentage of the
Brody?
unitemized contributions, out of the total, there were only 3 candidates that had above 20%.
Okay.
Mr. Rosenbaum had 78% of his total contributions
Whoa.
Hold on.
being unitemized.
Wait.
Last year, now we're going on to number 2. Well, I guess this is number 1. 100%.
So that
Hold on.
means yes.
Okay,
That,
so every single donation he allegedly
When
received
he
was
ran-
under the $100 threshold, because that's what it means by unitemized donation.
not necessarily.
Okay.
That they don't know.
Right. They don't know where they
When
came from because it's unitemized.
Right. When he ran for county council, that shows that as Brody said, 100% of his donations.
Right.
So were unitemized.
Yeah.
AKA,
really
we don't know who donated. Did
Right.
he have only, because in Indiana, if you have $100 or below, you can have confidential donations.
Yeah.
But normally, those are listed, itemized, and stated confidential, anonymous, because some people do want to donate to a candidate, but in a intense political climate, don't want their information out there.
Right. May not be comfortable with their name. Look, we've seen it before. Trump, people who have donated to Trump have had their stuff put out there and doxed and everything else. So
and
I get
this would be a very easy thing for Mike to come and say, look, I got a bunch of $50, $90, $100 donations. They asked me to keep them confidential. You can't argue with that.
Right.
He didn't do that.
Right.
He hid it. So or he doesn't know how to fill out a CFA, the financial form. So we have a candidate for auditor who either A, hides money, allegedly,
right,
or B, does not know how to fill out a pretty straightforward form.
Yeah.
You want to vote for that? I don't.
Yeah, I don't either.
But he's hiding money. He's hiding donations. And if he's not, he's hiding.
Yeah. Either way, it would have been a simple thing for him to show up and say, okay, look, here's where this stuff is. Here's what's going on. But 100% of the donations are unitemized. That's concerning.
Right.
That's when I ran for office, I didn't get a ton of donations, but I got some donations, and a lot of those donations were very small.
Right.
They were, people like me and you who said, look, here's X amount, I want to help your campaign. There's nothing wrong with getting small donations. That's a grassroots type of campaign, but you still have to itemize it.
And
I thought
you do. You should.
Yeah, you should.
Here's another kicker that a lot of people may not know. Let's say you do a form.
It is really coming down, man. I'm glad I got my bike home and got the cover back on in time.
And you make a mistake, right? Happens all the time.
Right.
You can file an amendment, an amended form. You could file 100 of them if you make mistakes.
If you need to. Sure.
That's not important. What's important is that you're turning in clear, accurate, financial things.
Information.
And then to just not appear, my butt got hauled in front of them last month. Brody does not play, and I love that. He is impartial. One gentleman was 10 minutes late. I was 98 minutes late turning in my form. And they ask you, and at this meeting, Mike also had 1,000 excuses on why he didn't turn in a report.
True.
I said, look, I could cite the storm, the crazy weather we had. I could cite that the internet was a little slow. I knew when it was due. I didn't turn it in.
Right. You took responsibility.
It's late. Yeah. I got fined.
Yeah. All right. Moving on.
Okay.
There's not much more.
So I just have questions.
Your questions are fair.
Thank you.
I haven't looked at any campaign finance reports. Your questions are fair.
He's not acting like they're fair.
Answer your questions
after the election.
Go ahead and do it. Okay. He's just unavailable today.
Of course he is. He's convenently unavailable
after the election.
Until after the election.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Which is why I'm not. I just have to let them know what my concerns are. Now we can reschedule it. And I'm sure Mr. Rosenbaum has reasonable explanations, just like I'm sure Mr. Smith has explanations. We just can't, and maybe I'm wrong. You know more about this than I do about open door law. Can we talk about this stuff outside the thing? I don't know.
Not as a board, you cannot.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's why we're here. And I get it. Go ahead.
For somebody who says, I get it, your questions are fair. He was there. Was he or was he not very combative in the beginning?
He was.
He came off as very aggressive and combative, like, how dare you?
And the impression that was made at the beginning listening to it is even though he knows you're not supposed to be able to discuss this somewhere else, he still wants it done.
Yeah, you still
even though you need to talk about this. Well, Mike will make his appearance once the election is over. I bet you on May 8th, he'll be so happy to answer questions.
All right. Let's finish up.
No, I'm not suggesting that you can't question him. He was just unavailable.
And I get that. I just wanted to let them know what my issues were. You know, I've been accused of being the axis of evil for the Republican Party, and yet both people on today's agenda are Republicans. What does that say about me, I guess?
I don't know
Once I start going after the Democrats, maybe I'll get called something else. I don't know.
anything about axis of evil.
Okay. So
Yeah, but yeah, something looks hinky.
I think at this point, it's better to reach out to you and probably coordinate a hearing, right?
If that's the way that you all want to do it.
Well, that's what I prefer as a practicing attorney. I'm sure you prefer the same thing.
Right.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with, number one, waiting until the election's done. And then number two, coordinating via email with the board so that we can come up with a reasonable time. Does that work?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. In that case, I would make a motion to table number 1 and 2 until such time that we can coordinate with Mr. Rosenbaum's counsel and this board.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, that's pretty much the end of that.
I'm just
Really, Martin Smith's was kind of simple, and I'm just going to really sum it up.
Right.
He had a fundraiser. The fundraiser was held for him by other people.
by Tom Dermody, Jackie Dermody, Jim Pressel, and Becky Pressel. They
Right.
hosted. They were personal hosts to introduce them to all of their friends.
They networked. They had their little group of people that they wanted to introduce him to and say, you should back this guy.
Yep.
Fair enough. He had a fundraiser, but here's the interesting thing. At the end of the fundraiser, because in order to announce, you have to say who's paying for it and all this stuff. You have to announce this stuff. Well, the problem came in when he went to pay the bill. Someone had anonymously paid for everything for him.
Right.
Well, it doesn't work that way when you're running for
No.
office. You have to report all this stuff. You have to report in-kind donations. You have to report everything.
Right.
Now, he is a first-time
He is.
candidate.
And
the first time he's running for office.
There are going to be situations where even if you run for office successfully 100 times, on the 101st, you're going to run into a situation. We had a situation with a candidate that 6 of us sat around brainstorming.
Right.
What
Trying to
do we
figure
do?
out- Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Because they received a gift that didn't qualify as anything
Right.
else. It was weird. So it was,
Yeah.
how does this work? What do we do?
And
Right.
Martin Smith, I've met him a couple of times. He seems like a very nice man.
Yeah.
He went to a fundraiser, and you know what? I have to admit that if this would happen to me, I may not know
Right.
what to do. What concerned me in the whole story of this envelope of money and someone paying it off, and that would actually be an in-kind donation, the
Right,
board says,
exactly.
is that the restaurant would not give him information he needed for this report.
Right.
So who paid it off? I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Why won't they give him information? So that's a concern.
It's a very valid concern, and it's a very good question as to why we have anonymous donors for certain individuals. At the same time, we have combative attorneys for other individuals. Look,
Yep.
there's some straight out lies going out now as far
It's
as
getting
mailers go.
ugly.
It's
it
getting
does.
very ugly, and there's some BS going on. You got to be an intelligent voter, and you got to see past the slam tactics. This is the last few days before the election. This is when the dirt gets thrown out.
Mike has
Because- hold on.
issued
Because there's no time to respond.
right.
Before the election, the last few days, that's when the BS gets thrown out because there's no time to validate and go, no,
Right.
this is crap.
I do want to say this. Mike issued a mailer that basically listed qualifications side by side, and he is harping on the fact that Rhonda does not have a college education. This is something she's never claimed. I'll say this. I have a bachelor's degree. Mine's in healthcare administration.
And working on your master's.
I don't work in that field. I have really never, except for a year, worked in that field.
Right.
And I am damn good at what I do for a living, which is social
Yep.
services.
You are.
The degree means nothing. The knowledge and the experience means everything.
Right.
He
That's what it's
has no experience as auditor. She does.
Yep.
He can't do his own financial forms
That's what I was
without
gonna say.
getting a lawyer.
Yeah.
Do you want to vote for someone who has experience, or do you want to vote for a candidate who can't fill out forms and hides what he does?
Don't we have enough of our elected officials
Mm-hmm.
getting sued? Don't we have enough of our elected officials that choose to hide behind attorneys?
Right.
I'm tired of it. Like I'm done. And we're not talking lawfare here, like what's
No.
happening to Trump. We're talking about legitimate concerns with
Right.
people in office where they violated their oaths of office. That's the kind of lawsuits that are going on right
Republicans
now.
have an 11th commandment where we might go after each other's policies and stances,
Yeah.
but we're never attacking each other personally. If he breaks that commandment,
violating,
which he has on radio ads
Yep.
and mailers,
Right.
then I will break it too.
Right.
You want an honest auditor who knows what she's doing, knows how to fill out her forms, you vote Rhonda. If you're tired of drama, you vote Rhonda. If you want a candidate who hides behind an attorney and can't fill out a form, vote Mike.
Right.
See where we get.
Right. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. I got some good videos and some good topics coming up.
I'm
Stay
nice, I
tuned.
promise.
Hope you have a great day. We actually have to call it and get busy because we are going to a precinct meeting
In
I
the
think
rain.
in the rain, and I think it's going to be interesting. God bless you. God bless Indiana, and God bless the United States of America.
If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose. This has been Dion's Daily Dose, hosted by Dion Bergeron. Executive producers, Sean Holgram and Michael Beebe. Copyright 2024. Dion's Daily Dose, all rights reserved.